Hello, everyone. I am Dr. Catherine Kelly, and for Soul Wisdom Wednesday, I want to bring a couple messages to you, actually. First of them is how do you stay in the flow of the soul? And the second one is how do you bring the stuff that's under the surface to the surface so that you can integrate it into who you are and use it as part of your evolution? Now, I'm going to start with how I got derailed this year. So, my favorite retreat or workshop that I do is I just love this thing. I did it on January 13th. I always do it. If I'm going to do it, I do it on the second Saturday of January. So, it gives people time to get through the holiday kind of haze, basically, the hangover that happens after the holidays, and get them refocused for the year. And that entire retreat is designed to help you find your theme for the year. Now, this is not an intellectualized process. This is from a soul-based process, which is why I love doing this retreat, is I get to bring out lots of soul skills. I get to play in my sandbox. And it's just my favorite retreat to ever do. It's just so fun. Um, but it's basically about planning or getting yourself very clear on your vision for how your soul wants the year to go, what you're supposed to be working on, what it is that you're supposed to stay very conscious with and present with as you move through the year. And the thing we didn't talk about during the retreat is what do we do when we get derailed from that vision, and how do we stay very present with that vision? Now, let me say what happened for me. Literally a day and a half after finishing this retreat, I test positive for COVID. And I didn't have terrible symptoms. I had a little bit of a sore throat to start with, and that's what cued me, I need to check this. But really, my major part was I sleeping a lot more than I normally do. I usually sleep 5 to 6 hours a night at most on a regular basis, and I was sleeping up to 14, sometimes 16 hours a day just because I was sleepy and tired. Now, I was getting through psychotherapy just fine. I did change all of my soul healing clients to the week after or following because it's a different kind of energy you have to use. But I was sleeping a lot and it derailed a lot of what I was planning to do. So there's one thing. So I start feeling better as of last week, started getting back in the game. I had all of these things that I was going to catch up on. And then I had a basal cell carcinoma removed from my nose, by the way, wear your sunscreen. I really think this came from childhood when we basted in baby oil, like a lot of people did at that time. But and wear your sunscreen. I'm going to say that again. It's that whole idea of, okay, I got derailed not once, but twice, back to back. And what did I do with it? So this is where I go into, okay, going with the soul's flow. Now, when you've been doing your work and you're pretty grounded, you realize that sometimes these things that derail you are actually there to help you in your evolution. You know that discomfort is something that serves your soul. And so when I got COVID, I really didn't worry about it. It wasn't a terrible case, but I was in my mind going, oh my gosh, all of these things I was planning to do. I hit the gates running when January 1st came and I was pushing hard. I had all this stuff I was going to, get done early. A lot of that got derailed. Videos got derailed. Really, a lot of things got derailed because I just didn't have the focus and the energy to do it. Then when this thing happened, I had literally Thursday afternoon and Friday had blocked off a ton of time just to do videos. I don't know why it didn't dawn on me that I would actually have a huge bandage on my face after this thing. And I called it the mattress because there was literally, it was a lentil size, half a lentil sized spot that was removed from my nose, but they literally put this huge piece of gauze right across my nose and around my cheek and packed it in there. And so it was one of those things where, okay, so much for my plan of doing videos. I just, I like to do videos when I have the time and space. I don't want to be rushed. And yet I was like, okay, this time that I had blocked off obviously wasn't going to happen. But what did I do during that time? I actually, again, stayed very present with the fact that, okay, this is apparently what's supposed to be happening right now. Got a bunch of other stuff done on Friday, which was really helpful. But it's that idea of how do you stay in the flow of the soul, even when your plans keep you in this vision of what needs to happen. Now, what I tell people, and I said this during the retreat, is right when you say what you're going to be working on is when the universe starts to test you with that. It starts to kind of mess with that plan. And so it's really important to not get rigid about your plans because the universe sometimes knows best. And the other thing to remember is that sometimes, all of the time, our discomfort is there to teach us. So, what do we do with that? Now, I want to give you a metaphor of something that I've been using with people these last few days, particularly today, and I've already used this with 3 different clients, is the whole idea of a lot of times we have to have our lives stirred up because the good stuff falls to the bottom. So, I used this metaphor with a client this morning, and then I've used it 2 other times today already, is that when you make like something like a salad and you've chopped up all these wonderful vegetables and you toss the thing, well, what happens is all of the stuff, the good nutritious stuff starts falling to the bottom and you have to dig for it. Much is the same for the soul, is that a lot of times we have to have our lives kind of turned over and stirred up in order to see the lessons, in order to see the stuff that's supposed to be, brought to our awareness and integrated into who we are. And this whole idea of this salad, it's like, what do you think about those juicy bits that are at the bottom, the pieces of broccoli or carrot or green peppers or whatever it is that have made its way down there and we're not really paying attention to it anymore? Well, the universe is going to stir it up. Our human condition needs to be stirred up in order to get those delicious parts of lessons and evolution and things that are going to not only provide that nurturance, but also provide that nutrition for us to learn. Because there's nothing more yummy when you go, oh, that's what that was about. We don't get to those yummy bits unless we have our lives stirred up. And so, that's why I emphasize the fact so much that discomfort is part of our evolution. We need discomfort because it serves our soul. So, I'm going to weave this into part 3 of this video. When I sense the energies of this year, I sense a lot of turning over, a lot of turning over. In 2019, the year before COVID hit, I kept telling people energetically what I'm sensing is that there's going to be these waves of energy, these surges of energy that come through. And at the time, I didn't know what it meant. I just knew that we would be going through like these surges and the waves. And lo and behold, it was the surges of the pandemic coming through. I did not know that until that started happening. And then I thought, oh, that's what I was sensing. What I'm sensing for this year is not these huge surges, it's a constant. So this year feels like it's going to be very, very much about turning stuff over, stirring up that salad dish to keep those juicy bits coming to the top, the things that we are supposed to be paying attention to and learning from so that we can integrate them into who we are. Buttons are going to be pushed. People are going to be upset. Wars are going to happen. We're already seeing some of that. Bombs are going to be dropped. We're already seeing that. So in our personal lives, we have to expect that there's going to be a lot stirred. And yes, we can get overwhelmed by that. We can shut down by that. But really, from an energetic, existential perspective, as far as our soul's evolution goes, we have to look at what is going on inside of us as we react or respond to what we observe and look at it to see, okay, what are the juicy bits that are coming up? What is it that I'm supposed to be paying attention to? What buttons are getting pushed? What emotions are triggering that remind me of something in the past, whether it's fear, abandonment, betrayal, whatever it might be that's getting pushed? It's so important to stay alert and astute to what is happening, almost like it's a movie screen to help stir up that soul part of you. So, going with the flow of the soul also means going with the discomfort of everything being turned upside down over and over and over again, like that rototiller, so that we can stay present, because you have to also remember our biggest victory is being able to get through discomfort and challenging situations. There are a lot of challenging situations going on, not only in this country, but around the world. In this country, we have all of these devastating weather events going on. We have all of these political issues going on. We have homelessness. We have all these things that are going on that are so difficult, and we just have to keep looking at what is being stirred within us as we observe these things so that we can apply it to ourselves. Now, this is going to sound self-focused for people, But we have to also remember that you doing your own soul's evolution, you doing your own soul's healing is all part of the collective. If we don't stay true to our own soul's healing and fix and heal and evolve beyond what it is that is pressing those buttons and stirring us up, we're not doing our part. We're not only not doing our part for ourselves, we're not doing our part for the sake of the evolution of human, mankind, womankind. So we have to really think of this. Now, that can sound like there's a lot of responsibility. The only responsibility we have is doing our own individual work. That is not a selfish thing. What that means is if we do our own individual soulful work, we are also going to interact better with others. We're not going to react as, negatively to other things. We're going to observe them for what they are. We're going to participate in evolution and consciousness rather than in reactivity. Now, it's very easy to get our buttons pushed. Ego gets involved, and there's also the whole idea that we still have to protect our souls. We still have to act out of self-love for ourselves and our souls. And yet, on the other hand, we have to look at this from, wow, what is this event on the news doing to me? What is this interaction doing to me? It sounds dramatic, but when we do our work, we participate in the not only the development, but we participate in the evolution of either mankind or womankind, depending on what the situation is. It is our responsibility to do that. It is not only our right to do it, it is our duty to do it because we are here to evolve not only as individuals, but as human beings altogether. The collective of souls that are on this planet, which is over 8.5 billion. So we have a lot of work to do. So how is it that you can stay in the flow of your soul? How can you look at these nuggets that have kind of fallen to the bottom? How can you use that to basically provide nutrition and basically get you to that point of taking you to that next level of growth? I use metaphors all the time, and I will continue to do that because I think it helps a lot of people anchor the ideas and get you to that place where you can put it all together and see how it all works. So I really like kind of providing those tools that are going to help you master the human condition while also helping your soul evolve. And that's really kind of what I'm all about. So lots more to come. These are a lot of reflective words from these last 24 hours, but I just wanted to put this information out there. There will be more to come unless I get derailed and have other detours, but I hope this is food for thought. I hope this helps nourish you along the way and help you understand why we're going to be experiencing a lot of this sort of turning over of energy throughout this year and really part into the next year as well. So we're not going to have it easy for a while, but this is also an exciting time and opportunity for us to really get through some of our gunk that we've held on to or that we haven't really worked through. So take this food for thought, light and love to all of you, and I will be back very soon with lots more information. And there is lots coming. This is one thing I'm hoping, to kind of keep the ball rolling with. But there's a lot about to happen. There's a lot I'm going to be providing the world from March, April on. It's going to be big. It's going to be a lot of explosive stuff in good ways. But keep tuned, and I will talk to you about all of that as the months unfold. So have a wonderful day. Light and love. Bye-bye.